Pain arrives quietly at first, a small disappointment, a rejection you didn't expect, a door that closes without explanation. At that moment, most people believe pain is punishment. They believe it is proof that life is unfair, that the world is against them, that they were never meant for more. But that belief is the first lie that keeps millions trapped in ordinary lives. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is information. Every great transformation in history began with discomfort. Edison was mocked thousands of times before light illuminated the world. Lincoln lost elections, businesses, loved ones, and still carried the weight of a divided nation on his shoulders. Carnegie arrived with nothing but hunger in his chest and fire in his mind. They were not spared from pain. They were refined by it. The problem is not pain. The problem is how most people interpret it. They collapse under it instead of listening to it. They turn inward with blame instead of upward with vision. They numb themselves with distraction instead of sharpening themselves with purpose. Pain shows up as a messenger, but most people shoot the messenger before hearing the message. If you are listening to this, it means pain has already touched your life. It has tested you, pressured you, forced you to ask questions you can no longer avoid. And that is not weakness. That is initiation. Because pain always appears when the old version of you can no longer survive. There comes a moment in every serious life where comfort becomes a cage, where routine becomes a slow suffocation, where you realize that staying the same hurts more than changing. That moment is not an accident. It is the call to evolve. Your mind is the first battlefield. Napoleon Hill wrote that the greatest enemy we face is not outside us, but within. Fear, doubt, indecision, and the opinions of others. Pain activates these enemies. It amplifies them. It drags them to the surface so you can finally see them clearly. Most people run at this stage. They escape into noise. They seek validation. They wait for permission. But a few, the dangerous few, choose a different response. They sit with the pain long enough to extract meaning from it. That is where purpose is born. Purpose is not found in comfort. It is forged under pressure. When pain strips away illusions, what remains is truth. You begin to see what matters, what doesn't. Who you are when no one is applauding. Who you are when excuses no longer work. Pain forces clarity. It shows you that time is limited. That potential unused becomes regret. That talent without discipline becomes frustration. And once you see that truth, you cannot unsee it. Vision emerges next. Not a fantasy, not a wish. A burning image of who you must become to honor what you've survived. Vision is pain refined into direction. It gives suffering a destination. It turns wounds into wisdom. This is where belief must be rebuilt. Not borrowed belief, not motivational quotes, but belief grounded in decision. Belief that says, what tried to destroy me will now be used to define me. Belief that understands that setbacks are not signs to stop, but signals to strengthen. Discipline follows belief naturally. Discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect in action. It is choosing long-term meaning over short-term relief. It is waking up when the mind wants comfort and moving forward anyway. Pain taught you what happens when discipline is absent. Purpose teaches you why discipline is necessary. Action becomes different now. You no longer act for approval. You act from alignment. Each step, you stop chasing motivation and start honoring commitments. Momentum replaces emotion. Consistency replaces chaos. And slowly, something changes. Pain no longer controls you. It fuels you. Resilience forms quietly. You stop breaking at every obstacle. You stop interpreting struggle as failure. You adapt. You learn. You recalibrate. Like steel tempered by fire, pressure no longer weakens you. It strengthens your core. Gratitude appears in an unexpected form. Not gratitude for comfort, but gratitude for contrast. You appreciate the struggle because it gave depth to success. You value silence because it trained your focus. You respect loss because it clarified your priorities. Learning becomes endless. You study minds that conquered their inner wars. You absorb principles instead of trends. You understand that growth is not dramatic. It is daily. Small decisions repeated with intent compound into power. And then comes the shift. Purpose becomes power. Not loud power. Not ego-driven power. But quiet authority. The kind that does not need validation. The kind that walks into rooms without explaining itself. The kind that influences without forcing. You become someone who has been tested and passed. Pain did not vanish. It transformed. It became the foundation of your strength, the proof of your endurance, the source of your empathy, the fuel of your ambition. This is the path few choose because it requires responsibility. It requires honesty. It requires the courage to stop blaming and start building. But once you step onto it, there's no turning back. Because you now know the truth. You were never meant to avoid pain. The transformation is never immediate. There is no switch to flip. You do not wake up one morning free from struggle and suddenly holding mastery over life. Instead, the change is incremental and visible to those who watch from the outside. It is forged in the shadows, in the quiet moments when no one is looking, when the world's applause is absent, when you are alone with your own choices. It is in the repeated act of rising after failure, of staring at the void of impossibility and daring to move forward anyway. Every great life is composed of these moments. Every triumph is the sum of decisions made in obscurity, where comfort is rejected in favor of growth, where excuses are discarded in favor of execution, where fear is stared down with unwavering gaze. Consider the architects of history. Ford, who endured bankruptcy and mockery before revolutionizing transportation. Disney, whose ideas were called naive and impossible, yet he built worlds of imagination that outlived him. Carnegie, who saw every rejection and every hardship as fuel to build industries and philanthropy that shaped nations. Their secret was not luck or intelligence alone. It was the disciplined use of pain, the conscious decision to turn every setback into a stepping stone. They understood that life's pressure is a mirror. It reveals the cracks in your character, but also provides the tools to fill them with steel. And so you must ask yourself, when pressure comes, when life tests you, do you break or do you build? Vision, once a spark, becomes a relentless fire. But fire requires tending. It is not enough to feel inspired on the surface. The fire must be anchored in clarity. Clarity demands that you strip away distractions, superficial desires, and the illusions of what success looks like according to someone else. It requires understanding that true achievement is never external alone. It begins in the mind. Your thoughts shape your actions shape your habits, and your habits define your destiny. You must see clearly where you are, where you wish to go, and what you are willing to endure to get there. Without this, purpose becomes vague, effort becomes scattered, and pain becomes paralyzing instead of propelling. Belief becomes your cornerstone. Not the kind that flares for a moment and fades, but belief carved from understanding, from repetition, from proof in the moments you kept going when quitting was easier. It is the belief that your suffering has a reason, that your persistence matters, that the world does not conspire against you, but waits to be claimed by those willing to endure. Doubt will try to seep in at every opportunity. It will whisper that you are not ready, that you are not capable, that your dreams are too large. Those whispers are inevitable. But belief, disciplined and repeated like a ritual, drowns them out. It becomes a shield, a lens, a weapon. Discipline is the bridge between intention and result. Talent without discipline is wasted. Knowledge without application is meaningless. Vision without follow-through is fantasy. Every day you choose comfort over effort, distraction over focus, immediate pleasure over long-term growth. You shorten the distance between your dreams and yourself. Discipline is the repeated act of prioritizing what matters, even when it is hard. It is the silent, unseen work that compounds over years into the mountains of achievement that outsiders marvel at. Action flows naturally from belief and discipline. Action is no longer erratic or reactive. It is deliberate, directed, and relentless. You do not wait for conditions to be perfect. Conditions never are. You do not wait for confidence to arrive. Confidence is built in motion. Each step forward, however small, is a declaration that you refuse to remain captive to your circumstances. Momentum is born from repeated action, and momentum carries you when motivation wanes. The world does not reward perfection, it rewards persistence, execution, and courage. Resilience grows quietly in this process. You begin to see failure not as catastrophe, but as data. Not as shame, but as guidance. The pain you feared becomes a teacher, harsh but wise. You develop the ability to adapt to every twist and turn, to recalibrate when plans fail, to maintain focus when chaos surrounds you. Resilience is not an innate trait reserved for the lucky few. It is cultivated in the trenches of daily life, in the consistent choice to face challenges head-on rather than retreat. Every challenge endured strengthens your core. Every setback survived adds to your capacity to handle the next. Gratitude becomes your anchor, but this is not a gratitude for ease or comfort. It is gratitude for struggle itself. You begin to understand that hardship is the lens through which excellence is recognized. That loss clarifies priorities, that rejection sharpens determination, that failure teaches lessons no classroom ever could. The gratitude for struggle transforms your perspective. You stop resisting life's difficulties and start harnessing them. Each challenge is no longer a punishment but a gift. Each scar becomes a symbol not of pain but of progress. Learning accelerates. You are no longer a passive observer of the world. You seek knowledge, mentorship, and wisdom as relentlessly as you seek achievement. Every story of triumph, every principle from history, every lesson embedded in personal experience becomes part of your arsenal. You understand that growth is not accidental, it is intentional. And the disciplined mind never stops learning, never stops questioning, never stops improving. And then something extraordinary happens. Purpose, refined by pain, anchored in belief, sharpened by discipline, energized by action, tempered by resilience, illuminated by gratitude, and expanded by learning, becomes power. Not the fleeting power of ego or recognition, but the enduring, magnetic, transformative power that influences lives, shapes environments, and commands destiny. You move through the world differently. Your presence alone shifts outcomes. You carry authority because you have earned it through relentless inner work. You command respect because you have mastered the inner battles that destroy most people before they even begin. At this stage, you understand the paradox. The very trials that threatened to break you became the instruments of your mastery. Pain, once feared, is now embraced. Suffering once resented is now celebrated. Obstacles once intimidating are now invitations. Every challenge is a reminder that you are alive, capable, and growing. You no longer pray for a life without struggle, you act with intention in a life with struggle. You understand that true power is not the absence of difficulty, but the ability to convert difficulty into dominance. And in that conversion, a profound truth emerges. Your life is no longer a series of random events. It is a deliberate, flowing narrative where every hardship is a chapter, every choice a plot twist, every action a step toward mastery. You are no longer subject to circumstance. You are the architect of your existence. The pain that once held you captive now fuels your ascent. The losses that once humiliated you now define your resilience. The fear that once paralyzed you now sharpens your focus. This is how legends are born, not in perfect conditions, not in comfort, not in luck. Legends are born where others surrender. They rise where others fall, they endure where others quit. And each step of that journey begins in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when the only voice you answer to is your own inner command to rise, to act, to persist, to conquer. You were meant to turn it into purpose. And purpose, lived daily with discipline and belief, always becomes power. As you ascend through the trials, a subtle transformation takes place that is invisible to the casual observer, yet undeniable to those who know you intimately. The mind, once cluttered with doubts and fears, now moves with precision and clarity. Your focus is no longer a fragile thread easily snapped by distraction, but a laser, cutting through noise, cutting through excuses, cutting through the illusions that keep most people trapped in mediocrity. You begin to see patterns where others see chaos, opportunities where others see obstacles, and solutions where others see problems. This is the reward of relentless inner work. The world bends to your perception because you have first conquered the battlefield within. Every decision you make becomes intentional, deliberate, and aligned with your ultimate vision. The trivialities of life no longer sway you. Gossip, envy, judgment, and the noise of societal expectation lose their grip because you have discovered a higher standard, a higher calling, and a higher self. The power of unshakable vision manifests in every thought, every action, every choice. You no longer react unconsciously to circumstance. You respond strategically, informed by purpose and guided by discipline. Your life begins to resonate with coherence, like a symphony conducted with mastery rather than noise conducted by randomness. Consider the great pioneers and innovators. Edison, who tested thousands of materials before perfecting the filament. Lincoln, whose resolve endured a divided nation and countless personal tragedies. Ford, who revolutionized industry while facing ridicule and resistance. Their genius was not in innate talent alone, but in their refusal to surrender to defeat. They saw the invisible threads of possibility and pulled them into reality through relentless action, unyielding patience, and unwavering belief. Each step forward was deliberate, each misstep analyzed, each obstacle transformed into a lesson. You now begin to see that your struggles are no different. They are the raw material from which your future self is forged. Resilience deepens further as you embrace the inevitability of failure not as a threat but as a teacher. Each disappointment, each loss, each unforeseen setback becomes data, a map for the next move. You start to anticipate challenges, not fear them. You develop a mental agility that allows you to pivot without losing momentum, to innovate under pressure, and to maintain clarity amid chaos. This resilience is compounded daily, becoming almost instinctual, a part of your identity rather than a learned skill. You no longer need permission from circumstance. You have internalized the power to navigate every storm. Action accelerates as the clarity of vision and the strength of resilience converge. You are no longer paralyzed by the enormity of your dreams. Instead, you break them into manageable, actionable steps. These steps are executed with intensity, not hesitation. You understand that mastery is the result of countless deliberate micro-decisions, each performed with focus, courage, and purpose. Momentum builds with each completed action, and soon what once felt impossible now feels inevitable. The path is no longer theoretical. It is lived, breathed, and conquered. Your understanding of purpose evolves. Purpose is no longer merely a goal, a wish, or a vague aspiration. It is a gravitational force that pulls every decision, every relationship, every investment of time and energy into alignment. It transforms the mundane into the extraordinary. Even the most ordinary tasks are now infused with meaning because you recognize their role in the architecture of your ultimate vision. Purpose becomes a compass, and action becomes a relentless march toward it. Gratitude grows in depth and complexity. No longer a superficial acknowledgement, gratitude becomes a lens through which life itself is interpreted. You see setbacks as disguised blessings, pain as a tool for growth, and adversity as the catalyst for strength. This mindset reframes every hardship, transforming fear into confidence, hesitation into initiative, and suffering into strategy. You realize that complaining is wasted energy, that resentment is poison, and that true leverage lies in the ability to embrace reality fully while steering it skillfully toward your desired outcome. As learning intensifies, your intellect expands beyond memorized facts or isolated skills. You cultivate wisdom, the understanding of principles that govern success, influence, and human behavior. You study the patterns of triumph and failure across history, across industries, across cultures. You internalize the lessons of those who endured far greater adversity than you and emerged victorious. This learning is not passive, it is active, iterative, and applied in real time. Knowledge becomes power when paired with execution, insight becomes transformation when paired with courage, and understanding becomes legacy when paired with impact. Emotional mastery becomes your ally. You recognize that most people are enslaved by emotion, anger, fear, jealousy, self-doubt, and that these unbridled forces dictate behavior and limit potential. You begin to observe your feelings without attachment, to channel them into productive action, to transform anxiety into focus and frustration into innovation. Emotional intelligence becomes the fuel that drives effective communication, strategic relationships, and influence. You no longer react unconsciously to provocation, you respond with intention and precision. By now, your vision, belief, discipline, action, resilience, gratitude, learning, and emotional mastery have coalesced into an unstoppable force. You become magnetic not in a superficial sense, but in the way energy bends toward those who embody clarity, purpose, and mastery. Opportunities appear not by chance, but because your presence commands them. Connections deepen, doors open, and your influence expands. You no longer chase success. Success is drawn to you as naturally as water flows to its lowest point. The world begins to mirror the inner landscape you have created. Pain is no longer a burden but a catalyst. Purpose is no longer abstract but operational. Power is no longer aspirational but realized. Every challenge conquered reinforces the inner architecture of strength you have constructed. Every obstacle overcome affirms the strategies and principles that now define your life. And in this moment, you understand the ultimate paradox. The struggles that once threatened to define you now define your mastery. At the apex of this transformation, a profound realization emerges. You are not merely surviving life, you are orchestrating it. The inner battle that once raged unchecked, fear versus courage, doubt versus belief, comfort versus discipline, is now won. And because the inner battle is won, the external world cannot defeat you. You move with a certainty born of experience, with a focus sharpened by adversity, with a power forged from relentless inner work. You are the embodiment of the principle that Napoleon Hill so passionately imparted: mastery begins within. The final lesson, and the one that transforms everything, is this: power without purpose is hollow, vision without execution is illusion, and resilience without clarity is chaos. True mastery requires integration, the alignment of mind, heart, action, and spirit toward a single unwavering goal. Every principle, every habit, every decision you have cultivated must now converge into sustained, deliberate action. Only then does the promise of your potential transform into the reality of your life. The fire that began as a spark of pain now roars as a beacon of achievement. The life you once imagined, the future you once doubted, the power you once feared to claim, it is now yours. And as you step into this life, you understand that the cycle continues. New challenges will arise, new setbacks will appear, new tests will confront you. But these no longer intimidate, they invigorate. They are the instruments of further refinement, the catalysts of higher mastery, the opportunities to expand the legacy you are building. And so, the journey continues, not as a series of random events or uncontrollable circumstances, but as a deliberate, conscious pursuit of excellence. You have learned the art of transforming pain into purpose and purpose into power. You have learned the science of enduring, adapting, and thriving. You have become a force of nature, unshakable, unbreakable, unstoppable. And the world, which once felt like a labyrinth of obstacles, now bends in response to the disciplined, relentless, and visionary force you have become. With each passing day, the principles you have internalized begin to radiate outward, touching every aspect of your existence. Your thoughts are no longer a random flicker of fleeting ideas. They are a directed force, each one carrying the weight of intention and the clarity of vision. The mental landscape you have cultivated, sharp, disciplined, and unwavering, now governs the environment around you. You begin to notice that circumstances do not dictate your progress, your mindset does. Just as Edison faced darkness and emerged with light, just as Lincoln faced division and sculpted unity, you too harness the seemingly impossible and transform it into reality. Action has become instinctual. Each movement, decision, and effort is infused with strategy and purpose. You no longer procrastinate in the shadows of fear, you advance in the light of certainty. Every challenge is a proving ground, every setback a lesson, every obstacle a disguised opportunity to assert your will. Where others see limitations, you see stepping stones. Where others crumble under pressure, you adapt, innovate, and conquer. Resilience is no longer a reaction, it is your default state. You have mastered the art of rising, and with each rise, your inner fortress becomes more impregnable. Gratitude anchors you even as the world challenges you. Not a passive acknowledgement, gratitude is now a lens through which every experience is measured. It transforms pain into insight, adversity into growth, and struggle into opportunity. By embracing life in its totality, you are no longer at the mercy of circumstance. You respond with calculated confidence and emotional mastery, turning every encounter into a lesson, every failure into a stepping stone. This perspective is what separates the few from the many, those who achieve the extraordinary from those who remain confined by mediocrity. Your purpose crystallizes. It is no longer an abstract notion or a distant goal. It is a guiding force, commanding every choice, shaping every habit, and driving every interaction. Purpose is the gravitational pull that aligns your thoughts, emotions, and actions. And as your vision sharpens, your influence expands. People are drawn to your energy not by chance, but by the magnetic force of your discipline, clarity, and unwavering commitment. You begin to see that leadership, impact, and influence are byproducts of internal mastery, not external circumstance. Now, the inner battle that once raged, fear versus courage, doubt versus belief, comfort versus growth, has been decisively won. And because the battle inside is settled, the world no longer intimidates. Every external challenge is now an opportunity to demonstrate mastery. You move with confidence forged by experience, execute with precision guided by clarity, and endure with strength honed by adversity. You embody the truth that Napoleon Hill conveyed: true success begins with the conquest of the self. Action, resilience, vision, purpose, gratitude, and emotional mastery converge. Momentum becomes unstoppable, and your life evolves from chaos to a symphony of deliberate achievement. Every obstacle that once threatened to derail you now serves as proof of your strength. Every test is affirmation of your growth. You are no longer a passive participant in life. You are the orchestrator, the architect, and the executor of your destiny. This is the culmination of everything you have cultivated: the ability to turn pain into purpose and purpose into power. You now stand at a precipice where potential becomes reality, where dreams are no longer distant, and where mastery is tangible. Challenges continue to appear, but they no longer have the power to deter you. They fuel your ascent, sharpen your resolve, and expand your capacity for achievement. You have transcended fear, doubt, and limitation. You have embraced the path of relentless growth and uncompromising excellence. Every step forward, every choice aligned with vision, and every moment of disciplined action compounds. Success is no longer a hope or aspiration. It is the inevitable consequence of the system you have implemented within yourself. Your influence, your legacy, and your impact are drawn directly from the principles you have applied: clarity of purpose, relentless action, emotional mastery, strategic resilience, and unwavering vision. The fire that began in struggle now burns as a beacon, illuminating the path not only for you but for all who witness your rise. The ultimate revelation emerges: life does not hand success to the hesitant or the fearful. Life responds to preparation, courage, and decisive action. The inner battle you have fought, the discipline you have maintained, the vision you have protected, these are the keys that unlock doors that many will never see. You realize that power without purpose is hollow, ambition without clarity is aimless, and resilience without direction is wasted energy. Integration of these elements, action, vision, purpose, resilience, and mastery, is the foundation of unstoppable momentum and lasting achievement. And so, with the fire of experience and the light of vision, you step fully into your potential. The pain of yesterday has been transformed into the strength of today. The purpose you have discovered fuels the power that propels you forward. And the life you once imagined, the success you once doubted, the influence you once feared to claim, it is now yours. Claimed not by luck but by mastery, not by chance but by deliberate, relentless pursuit. Your journey continues, now not as a victim of circumstance, but as a master of destiny. New challenges will rise, but they will not intimidate, they will invigorate. New obstacles will appear, but they will not stop you, they will sharpen you. And in every step, every decision, every struggle, you embody the principle that true power arises from within. You have transformed, and through that transformation, you have become unstoppable. Remember, to experience the next level of mastery, to witness the unfolding of every principle into action, and to continue building the life you envision, make sure to subscribe to our channel and join us in the next part of this transformative journey. Subscribe now and take the next step toward turning pain into purpose and purpose into power. Now, the truth that once seemed distant and abstract becomes undeniable. Every great life, every legendary success story, every individual who changed the world, from Edison to Carnegie, Lincoln to Disney, understood one immutable principle: mastery over self precedes mastery over circumstance. It is in the quiet moments, when no one watches, when fear whispers and doubt threatens, that the seeds of greatness are planted. You have cultivated those seeds, nurtured them with discipline, and shielded them with unshakable vision. Now, as they break through the soil of your struggle, They sprout into reality, tangible, unstoppable, undeniable. Action is no longer a concept, it is instinct. When the world hesitates, you move. When doubt strikes, you execute. When comfort beckons, you push beyond. Each step is a declaration that mediocrity has no claim over you, that hesitation cannot dictate your destiny, and that limitation exists only for those who surrender to it. Like Ford building an empire from the ground up or Lincoln steering a fractured nation through war, you have discovered that momentum is born from relentless, disciplined action aligned with vision. But action alone is insufficient. It must be paired with resilience, the ability to absorb impact, recalibrate, and advance undeterred. Life will test you often brutally, presenting trials that seem insurmountable. Yet each trial is a crucible designed not to destroy but to refine. You have learned to embrace the fire, to see adversity as a teacher, to feel the sting of failure and convert it into fuel. Like Disney facing repeated rejection, like Edison confronting thousands of failed experiments, you rise not in spite of setbacks but because of them. Gratitude remains your anchor. It is not a passive acknowledgement but an active force, a lens that transforms struggle into insight and loss into opportunity. You do not merely endure, you appreciate. You do not merely persist, you learn. You do not merely survive, you thrive. By holding gratitude at the center of your journey, you illuminate the hidden lessons in every challenge and extract power from every experience. Purpose has become the gravitational force in your life. It organizes thoughts, aligns actions, and channels energy. When distractions arise, purpose acts as a compass. When obstacles appear, purpose serves as a catalyst for creativity. When doubt threatens, purpose fuels unwavering belief. You have learned that without purpose, effort is wasted. Without clarity, action is directionless. Without resilience, strength is fleeting. But when these elements converge, you are unstoppable. Your vision is no longer a dream, it is a living blueprint. Every decision, every relationship, every investment of time or energy is guided by its clarity. You move with precision, speak with influence, and act with authority. The world responds not to chance but to power forged through internal mastery. You have become a force of intention, a magnet for opportunity, and a testament to the principle that Napoleon Hill articulated: the mind, disciplined and focused, is the most powerful tool known to man. Leadership emerges naturally from your transformation. Influence is no longer something to seek, it is a byproduct of mastery. People gravitate toward your energy not by accident but by the magnetic alignment of purpose, clarity, and action. Your story, shaped by struggle and refined by resilience, inspires those around you. Like Lincoln commanding the moral courage to lead a nation or Carnegie building empires that outlast him, you realize that true impact arises not from position but from mastery over self and relentless application of principle. And so the journey continues, ever forward, ever upward, ever expanding. Each day is a canvas, each challenge a brushstroke, and each act of disciplined action a bold statement of intention. You have internalized the truth that pain is temporary but purpose is eternal, that struggle is a teacher but mastery is the reward, that adversity shapes the strong but vision sustains them. Every step forward compounds, every choice aligned with principle multiplies. Every moment of deliberate action brings you closer to the life you envision. To continue this journey, to witness the final transformation, and to integrate every lesson into actionable mastery, make sure to subscribe to our channel and join us for the next part. Subscribe now and take the next step in turning pain into purpose and purpose into unstoppable power. As you advance further on this journey, the realization dawns that true power is not derived from the applause of others, nor from the fleeting recognition of success. It emerges from mastery over your inner world. Every great innovator, every leader who transformed society, every individual who left an indelible mark on history understood this. The battles within shape the victories without. You now are standing at that threshold. Your mind disciplined and clear, your heart resilient and unwavering, your purpose ignited and unshakable, all combined to create an unstoppable force. Clarity is your sword, cutting through the noise of distraction, indecision, and fear. Each choice becomes precise, each action deliberate. Like Edison navigating endless experiments before the incandescent light illuminated the world, like Carnegie building steel empires brick by brick, you grasp that incremental, consistent effort guided by vision compounds into monumental results. There is no shortcut, no secret bypass, there is only focused persistence. And persistence, when fueled by unshakable purpose, is the most potent weapon against mediocrity. But even clarity and action must coexist with adaptability. Life is fluid, unpredictable, and relentless. The tides of circumstance can shift in an instant, testing your resolve, challenging your assumptions, and threatening to derail your progress. Yet, the truly empowered do not resist change. They flow with it, harnessing its energy, learning its lessons, and pivoting with precision. Like Disney turning rejection into opportunity, like Ford overcoming industry skepticism, you understand that flexibility does not dilute power. It amplifies it. Resilience, cultivated over time through struggle and refinement, becomes your armor. It allows you to endure the inevitable setbacks, to recover from failure, and to maintain forward momentum. Life's blows are inevitable. Collapse is optional. You have internalized the principle that pain, when approached with purpose and perspective, transforms into the fuel of greatness. Each challenge, each disappointment, each moment of doubt becomes a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Belief, once fragile, now stands unshakable. You no longer question your capacity, you assume it. You no longer wonder if you can overcome, you know that you will. Like Lincoln guiding a fractured nation through the fire of civil war, like Ford defying skepticism to revolutionize transportation, you operate from the certainty that inner conviction precedes outer achievement. The world does not shape you. You shape the world with the power of your mind and the courage of your convictions. Gratitude, deeply rooted, sustains your journey. It is the quiet force that transforms effort into joy, adversity into insight, and achievement into meaning. Without gratitude, triumph feels hollow. Without appreciation, progress becomes a treadmill. You recognize that every experience, no matter how painful or challenging, contributes to your evolution. Like Carnegie acknowledging the lessons in every business challenge, like Edison celebrating every experiment, you see life itself as the greatest teacher, offering wisdom disguised in every trial. Purpose now radiates through every action, every decision, every interaction. It is not a vague notion, but a tangible compass, aligning thought with action and intention with impact. When fear rises, purpose silences it. When distraction beckons, purpose focuses it. When doubt whispers, purpose roars. You act with authority, move with intention, and inspire with presence, not by accident, but as a direct consequence of mastery over your inner world. And now, as your journey ascends to its pinnacle, you recognize the profound truth: the world mirrors the inner state of the individual. The battles you fought within, the pain you endured, the discipline you cultivated, and the vision you embraced manifest as tangible influence and lasting impact. The life you sought does not come from luck, privilege, or circumstance. It is the inevitable outcome of internal mastery applied with unwavering persistence. To continue embracing this transformation, to internalize these lessons, and to witness the ultimate power of purpose turned into unstoppable momentum, make sure to subscribe to our channel and experience the next part. Subscribe now and step fully into the life you are destined to create. Now, as you stand on the precipice of your greatest transformation, the culmination of all struggles, lessons, and unwavering persistence converges into an undeniable truth: mastery over your inner world is the ultimate form of power. Every fear you faced, every doubt you silenced, every setback you turned into a stepping stone has built a foundation so unshakable that nothing external can destabilize you. This is the essence of the few who achieve greatness while the many remain trapped in mediocrity. Like Edison persevering through 1,000 failed experiments, like Lincoln holding a divided nation together, like Disney imagining a world yet unseen, you have learned that internal victory precedes external triumph. Action, now fueled by clarity and fortified by resilience, becomes unstoppable. You act with precision, purpose, and relentless energy. The world will attempt to distract, discourage, and delay you, yet your internal compass, guided by vision and belief, moves you forward with unyielding momentum. Every small victory compounds into monumental progress. Every disciplined decision magnifies your influence, and every obstacle becomes an opportunity for growth. You understand that nothing of value is achieved without enduring the fire of challenge, without testing the limits of patience and courage. Discipline, refined over years of commitment, now manifests in all areas of life. Your thoughts, words, and actions are aligned with your purpose. Laziness, procrastination, and distraction no longer hold dominion over you. Like Carnegie building an empire of steel, like Ford reshaping the automotive world, your consistency creates legacy. Success is not a matter of chance, but the direct consequence of sustained, focused effort executed with unwavering discipline. Yet, even in this mastery, humility remains your silent ally. True power does not boast, it demonstrates. It is the quiet confidence that moves mountains without seeking applause. Gratitude continues to be your lifeline, ensuring that every victory is anchored in perspective, every achievement is grounded in appreciation, and every challenge is met with grace. You understand that the life you are building is not merely for yourself but radiates outward, touching others, inspiring change, and leaving an indelible impact on the world. Resilience, now fully internalized, transforms adversity into fuel. Pain is no longer a barrier, it is a teacher, a sculptor of character, a catalyst for greatness. The moments that once threatened to break you now empower you, refining your vision and strengthening your resolve. Like Lincoln navigating crisis with a nation divided, like Edison embracing each failure as insight, you embody the principle that triumph is born not from avoiding struggle but from conquering it. Belief in yourself, now absolute, silences all doubt. You no longer seek validation externally because the conviction within is sufficient. You move through life with purpose as your shield and action as your sword. The vision that once seemed distant is now tangible, reachable, and inevitable. Your potential is no longer theoretical, it is activated. Every decision, every action, every thought is a deliberate step toward the life you have envisioned, the legacy you are creating, and the impact you are destined to leave. And as this journey approaches its climactic resonance, recognize the power you now wield, the power to shape your destiny, the power to transform challenges into opportunities, the power to convert every ounce of pain into an engine for purpose. This is the life that emerges when you refuse to settle for mediocrity, when you embrace the lessons of struggle, when you act with clarity, and when you commit to the relentless pursuit of mastery over self. To fully internalize this transformation and continue witnessing the extraordinary impact of purpose turned into unstoppable power, subscribe to our channel and step into the next level of your journey. Subscribe now and let the next chapter of your greatness unfold. As you stand on the edge of your greatest potential, understand this: the world rewards those who endure, those who transform struggle into strategy, and those who turn obstacles into opportunities. Every scar you carry is a medal of courage. Every sleepless night a testament to commitment. Every moment of doubt a stepping stone toward unshakable strength. Like Edison refusing to surrender to failure, like Lincoln steering a fractured nation with conviction, like Disney creating realms of imagination against all odds, you too are the architect of a life that defies limits. Pain has not broken you, it has refined you. Purpose is no longer a distant dream, it is an unstoppable force within you. Every decision now carries weight, every action carries intention, and every thought carries the power to shape reality. You have learned that success is not granted, it is seized, meticulously crafted through the union of clarity, discipline, and relentless action. The inner battles you fought against fear, distraction, and uncertainty have forged a resilience that cannot be shaken. Like a blacksmith hammering steel into a blade, your trials have tempered your spirit, your vision has sharpened, and your determination has become a weapon no challenge can withstand. Belief, once fragile, is now absolute. You no longer wait for circumstances to align, you create alignment through focus and unrelenting action. Like Carnegie in his relentless pursuit of industry, like Ford reshaping transportation, like Lincoln in the crucible of history, your vision drives you past hesitation and doubt, propelling you forward when others stagnate. The power to shape your destiny lies not in luck or talent alone, but in the unwavering belief that you are capable of extraordinary achievement, and the discipline to act on it without delay. Every step forward compounds your progress. Small victories, seemingly insignificant, build momentum into unstoppable force. Your habits, now disciplined and intentional, align seamlessly with your goals. Gratitude grounds you, keeping your success anchored in purpose rather than ego. Resilience becomes a second nature. Obstacles no longer intimidate, they instruct. Pain is not a barrier, but a mentor, guiding you toward deeper understanding and higher achievement. Your past struggles are no longer burdens. They are proof of your capacity to endure, to grow, and to triumph. Action, magnified by clarity and conviction, becomes unstoppable. You no longer move through life reactively. You act proactively, decisively, and deliberately. The world may attempt to sway you, to distract, or to derail you, but your internal compass, calibrated by vision and reinforced by belief, keeps you on course. Every challenge now becomes an opportunity to demonstrate mastery over yourself and the circumstances around you. Your life is no longer subject to chance. It is a direct reflection of the power, discipline, and clarity you wield. As this momentum continues, recognize that your journey is no longer about mere survival, it is about transformation. You are evolving into a force that not only commands your own life, but inspires those around you. Like Edison lighting the world with invention, like Lincoln transforming the moral fabric of a nation. Like Disney building realms that capture imagination, your inner victory radiates outward, influencing, uplifting, and redefining what is possible. And as you continue this extraordinary journey, never forget the next stage of your evolution awaits. To witness the full power of purpose turned into unstoppable action, subscribe to our channel and step boldly into the life you were meant to create. Subscribe now and ensure that the next chapter of your greatness does not remain unseen. Now, as you step further into this realm of unshakable purpose, understand that mastery over self is the true currency of life. The battles you have fought internally, the fights against fear, procrastination, doubt, and complacency, are nothing compared to the power that awaits when you align your mind, heart, and action toward a singular vision. Every decision you make now is a seed. Every choice is fertile ground from which extraordinary achievement will grow. Like Ford revolutionizing industry with an unrelenting commitment to efficiency, like Carnegie building empires on the foundation of persistence and insight, like Lincoln holding steadfast in the storm of division, you are poised to build a legacy that transcends obstacles, time, and expectation. Your resilience is no longer optional, it is innate. Each setback, each moment that once threatened to derail you has become a catalyst, sharpening your focus and refining your strategy. Pain no longer intimidates, it instructs. Fear no longer paralyzes, it propels. The lessons you glean from adversity are now encoded into your DNA of success. Action is no longer sporadic, it is deliberate, intentional, and relentless. You understand that true power lies not in waiting for opportunity, but in creating it, shaping it, and pursuing it with the conviction of one who knows that victory begins within. Clarity of vision is your compass. Purpose is your fuel. Belief is the fire that cannot be extinguished. Discipline shapes the vessel, action fills it with momentum, and resilience ensures that the vessel does not falter even in the fiercest storms. Like Disney turning imagination into a worldwide empire, like Edison turning failure into discovery, like Carnegie turning ambition into monumental impact, your inner resolve becomes the architecture of destiny. Nothing external can sway you because you have conquered the most formidable battlefield, yourself. And now, as your journey of transformation intensifies, remember this truth: life rewards the relentless. Those who act decisively persist beyond resistance and maintain unwavering belief in their vision inevitably triumph. Your purpose, once dormant, is now awakened. Your potential, once untapped, is now unleashed. Your actions, once hesitant, are now unstoppable. And every moment, every challenge, every breath you take is an affirmation of the life you are creating. A life defined not by circumstance, but by mastery, resilience, and relentless pursuit of your vision. To fully embrace the next phase of your extraordinary evolution, subscribe to our channel and join a movement of visionaries who refuse to settle for mediocrity. Subscribe now and witness the unfolding power of your purpose as it transforms pain into unstoppable momentum, turning your life into the masterpiece it was always destined to be. And now, as we approach the pinnacle of your transformation, understand this: the life you envision is not some distant dream. It is a reality waiting for your courage to claim it. Every ounce of pain you have endured, every trial that tested your resolve, every night that challenged your belief has been preparing you for this very moment. Like Edison in the darkness of failure, tirelessly twisting and turning filament after filament until light burst forth; like Lincoln, whose unyielding dedication preserved a nation; like Carnegie, who transformed humble beginnings into monumental influence, you are being called to rise, not later, not tomorrow, but now. Purpose is no longer an idea, it is an unstoppable force within you. It commands your attention, it sharpens your focus, and it ignites a fire so intense that hesitation cannot survive. Every decision you make must honor that fire. Every action must be a tribute to the vision that refuses to die within you. You are no longer a spectator of your life, you are the architect, the commander, and the relentless pursuer of a destiny only you can claim. Pain is your mentor, discipline is your weapon, and belief is your shield. The world around you may waver, circumstances may shift, challenges may rise, but none of it can touch the fortress you have built inside. Your resilience has become legendary, your clarity unbreakable, your purpose undeniable. Like the greatest pioneers and leaders who carved paths where none existed, you too are shaping reality with the strength of a mind that refuses to surrender, a heart that refuses to yield, and a vision that refuses to dim. Action is no longer optional, it is imperative. You must act decisively, act boldly, act with relentless precision. Each step forward carries with it the weight of potential realized. Every challenge is transformed into opportunity. Every fear is transmuted into fuel. And through this continuous, unwavering commitment, you create a momentum that becomes unstoppable, a force that not only shapes your life but inspires all those who witness it. And here, at the climax of your journey, embrace this ultimate truth. The life you have dreamed of, the success you have longed for, the impact you have yearned to make has always existed within you. It was never external, it was always internal. Every struggle, every setback, every heartbreak, every failure, they were all rehearsals for your moment of triumph. Your inner victory becomes your external reality. Your mastery over self becomes mastery over circumstance. Your unshakable vision becomes the blueprint for your destiny. And so, as you stand on the precipice of greatness, subscribe to our channel and join a community of warriors who refuse to live small, who refuse to yield to mediocrity, who refuse to settle for anything less than the extraordinary. Subscribe now and continue this journey of transformation, turning pain into purpose and purpose into unstoppable, life-altering power.